For every beloved Squid Game character, there was also one who was hated by everyone. Starting with player 124, Namgyu, whose descent into madness would make him one of the most despised contestants in the game's history. A former club promoter turned cryptocurrency investor, Namgyu lost everything, over 300 million won, on a single failed investment. But unlike other desperate players, Namgyu's response to losing wasn't just about survival. His true colors showed early when he and Thanos cornered Myung-gi, the crypto YouTuber who advised their failed investment. Did the bastards who made that coin take the money and flee to the Philippines? Namgyu taunts, already showing signs of the monster he'd become. But what truly set Namgyu apart wasn't just his cruelty, it was his dependency on drugs to fuel it. "I've tried every street drug there is," he boasts to Thanos, before taking the colorful pills that would push him further into madness. His drug-fueled rage found a particular target in Semi, who dared to stand up to his bullying. "Hey Semi, don't forget that you're a bitch," he screams, his fragile ego unable to handle any challenge to his authority. Even the death of his supposed friend Thanos revealed Namgyu's true nature. While others would feel sad, his first instinct was to steal the drugs from his friend's corpse, cursing Thanos for treating him like an idiot while pocketing the pills. But Namgyu's most horrifying moment came during the special game Riot. Leading the charge and murdering multiple players, he brutally stabs player 185 before finally cornering Semi. Despite Minsu's attempt to save her with a thrown bottle, Namgyu's drug-fueled rage culminates in one of the season's most disturbing deaths. But while Namgyu represented humanity's darkest impulses, player 120 Cho Hyun-ju emerged as what would become one of the most discussed characters of Season 2. A former staff sergeant with an exemplary record, Hyun-ju's life transformed drastically after her transition. Stripped of her military career and abandoned by family, she found herself 330 million won in debt. Yet this setback would set the stage for what the show's creators clearly intended as an inspiring journey of resilience. Her character's trajectory became apparent from the very first game. While hundreds fled in terror, Hyun-ju stopped to help Gi-hun carry an injured player to safety, the first of many seemingly perfect moral choices that would define her journey. When the uprising began, Hyun-ju's military background emerged at precisely the right moment. Her accuracy with weapons, strategic thinking, and leadership abilities proved instrumental in the resistance against the Pink Soldiers. Through every challenge, every moral test, Hyun-ju's choices aligned perfectly with heroic ideals, perhaps too perfectly. And here lies an interesting perspective about Hyun-ju's character. While positive representation undoubtedly matters, there's something almost manufactured about her flawless portrayal. Throughout Season 2, every scene, every decision, every character interaction seems meticulously engineered by the writers to present an idealized transgender character. From her military expertise emerging at perfect moments to her unwavering moral compass in a game designed to break human dignity, Hyun-ju's character appears crafted with an almost desperate need to portray transgender individuals in the most positive light possible. While the intention behind this choice is understandable, especially considering South Korea's complex relationship with LGBTQ+ representation, it sometimes feels like the writers sacrificed authentic character development for the sake of message. In their determination to create a positive transgender character, they might have inadvertently created someone too perfect to be relatable. To be clear, this isn't a criticism of representation itself, but rather the approach taken by the writer of the series. But while some players fought to protect others, player 007 Park Young-sik would betray the one person who sacrificed everything for him, his own mother. Born in Bongcheon-dong, Young-sik's gambling addiction spiraled him into 250 million won of debt. With organ traffickers threatening his life, he fled home, only to find his mother had joined the games to save him. At first, Young-sik seemed amicable enough, forming alliances and even joking with Gi-hun. "Now I'll get to see my father," he laughs, moments before the brutal reality of the game unfolds. Despite promising his mother to leave after the first game, Young-sik's true colors emerged when he voted to continue, revealing he'd hidden even more debt from her. "I'm sorry, Mom," he pleads, "but there's more I haven't told you." But it was during the Mingle game that Young-sik committed what viewers consider one of Season 2's most unforgivable acts. Faced with death, he abandoned his mother, the very woman who entered these deadly games to save him. "I can't die here," he shouts, leaving her behind. While both survived thanks to others' help, Young-sik's cowardice marked him as one of the season's most hated players. A mother's unconditional love met with a son's ultimate betrayal. But while Young-sik abandoned family in their darkest hour, our next player would show how far a parent's determination could truly reach. Player 222, Kim Jun-hee, fought not just for her own survival, but for the life growing inside her. An orphan scammed by her ex-boyfriend's cryptocurrency scheme, Jun-hee entered the games carrying a secret. She was pregnant with the child of the very man who had betrayed her. During the first game, severe stomach pains nearly cost her everything, but it was here we glimpsed her strength as Zhang Guamjia noticed her struggling. "Lean on me," the older woman whispers, becoming the first to discover Junhee's pregnancy. When others doubted her, assuming she should play girls' games like Gonji, Junhee proved her worth. With a single perfect throw in Dakchi, she showed that a mother's determination could overcome any challenge. But it was in a quiet bathroom moment that Junhee captured viewers' hearts. Breaking down in Guamjia's arms, she revealed her deepest fears, not for herself but for her unborn child. "I'm terrified," she sobs, showing the raw humanity beneath her strong exterior. Perhaps most remarkably, Junhee showed that true strength isn't about revenge. Even after everything her ex-boyfriend Myung-gi had done, she still warned him to hide during the violence, choosing compassion over vengeance. But while Junhee fought to protect new life, our next player would prove that some people will sacrifice anything, even their own soul. In the brutal theater of Squid Game's second season, no character ignited more universal hatred than player 100, Im Jung-dae. A fallen businessman whose 10 billion won debt should have taught him humility instead revealed a monster of pure calculation. "Do you think it's easy to get 10 billion won loan?" he sneers at the other contestants, his voice dripping with condescension. "They don't lend that kind of money to just anyone." The arrogance in that moment would become his trademark, each word revealing a man who saw human lives as mere digits on a balance sheet. What made Im Jung-dae particularly dangerous wasn't just his greed, it was his gift of manipulation. He transformed desperate players into unwitting accomplices. His rallying cry of "one more game" echoed throughout the dormitory, each chant adding another name to Debt's ledger. Perhaps most chilling was his response to survival. While others celebrated making it through the second game alive, Im Jung-dae's face darkened with disappointment. "Too many survived," he mutters, openly calculating how each beating heart decreased his potential fortune. Across every social platform, the viewers had one thing in common: their pure hatred for player 100. "I can't wait for the scene where this scumbag will die." But while others choose to enter the deadly arena of Squid Game, one man's quest for vengeance began in the world outside. Meet Woo-seok. Initially just another debt collector working for Mr. Kim, Woo-seok had his own history with scammers. Years earlier, his entire savings vanished to fraud, leaving him with nothing but a police record when he tried to take justice into his own hands. Mr. Kim wasn't just his boss, he was the man who officiated Woo-seok's wedding, a friend who saw beyond his rough edges. This bond would set the stage for a devastating chain of events. Then came the moment that changed everything. Captured and forced into a deadly game of Russian roulette, Woo-seok watched in horror as Mr. Kim made the ultimate sacrifice, taking the fatal round meant for him. In that instant, a debt collector found his true purpose. What made viewers rally behind Woo-seok wasn't just his quest for revenge, it was his transformation. No longer chasing money, he risked everything to help Gi-hun and Jun-ho in the games. Even his fear of loud noises during gun training couldn't stop his determination to honor Mr. Kim's sacrifice. But inside those deadly halls of Squid Games, there are more stories waiting to be told. To be honest, some of the most interesting characters, both loved and hated by fans, haven't even been mentioned yet. Get this video to 1,000 likes and I'll bring you part 2 ASAP. Peace out.